Good morning. Good morning. Today, we're going to talk about the wealth gap. There are many people who are talking about income inequity. There are many people who feel that the government should fix this problem. There are many people who feel that we need assistance in this area of people who are not earning enough money. I've shown you the numbers. I've shown you what most of America makes 28 to 32K a year. That's where a majority of America is. And there's this growing crazy gap. But hold on. Let me show you something. It was, she's very young. I hit the wrong thing real quick. Let me just go ahead and, she's very young. But this one, I went ahead because everybody was kind of hard to find her age, right? This chick who's making tens of thousands of dollars per month is 19 years old, and I'm going to show you how I found it. So I went to the Google machine and I started looking up her age because you look at her, she's very young, and she's got a lot of stuff going on. Then I found this article, the 50 types of men you meet in your 20s. Then I found her mother had died, and her name is so unique. Her mother died, Cheryl Tangen. She is survived by her children, Jeremy, Jaylene, Janika, and Juliet, age 14. She was 14 years old in 2014, which was just 5 years ago. So she's 19, she's 20 years old. Once again, she's 19 or she's 20 years old, and she is making tens of thousands of dollars per month as a coach. And one of the reasons that oh, hold on. You didn't see it because I've got so many windows open. Hold on. Let me bring you up to date. And this is another one. All right. This is how I found out. I went snooping. I always want to go back. And here it is. Her mother, tribute to Cheryl Tagan. She was 14 years old in 2014. She is 19 to 20 years old. This chick making big money. Now, let's look at this. Let's take this apart and understand what is happening here today. What you can actually do. What you can put yourself through. Essentially, she put herself through some intensive personal self development. That's what she did. And it didn't take many years. She was only 14 5 years ago. So her business has taken off in the last 2.5 years, which means she was 17, 18. So what you got to do, because the wealth gap is really a skills gap. And while you need to self-educate as rapidly as you can, you have many people out here who are not on that personal development tip, who are not going out and learning new skills, who are not trying to do new things. It's a skills gap. There is no wealth gap. I just showed you someone who is 19, 20 years old, who's making probably $50,000 per month. $50,000 per month because she learned some new skills. She learned skills that people with money will pay for. She learned, and this is where people who are in economic in the, I mean, the girl is making per month what the average American makes per year. More than that, because I showed you the numbers. Matter of fact, let's just do that really quickly. Wall Street Journal, the 1%. I love this. Let's go ahead and let's do the numbers. All right. So she's making 50,000 a year. So this is 73% of Americans aren't making $50,000 per year. Yet this 19-year-old girl is making that per month. Let's see. What percent are you? I want you to think about that. I want you to really, really think about that. Yesterday in the yesterday's stream, we talked about, Hello Kitty and The Walking Dead. There are so many ways to make money, but you got to skill yourself up. Once again, there is no income inequity gap. The rich get richer, the poor get poor. It is a skills gap. And this is something that I realized many, many years ago. When I was living in that boarding house, it dawned upon me I didn't have viable skills. I didn't have any skills that anyone wanted to pay for. I could do general labor. I could do a lot of manual labor. I was good for that. But I didn't have the skills to really pay the bills. I did not have the skills to really move myself to another income level. It was all about skills. Currently, if you know how to run Instagram, there's so much money out here for you. If you know how to run Facebook ads, there's so much money out here for you. If you know how to, essentially, this is something that you could do. You can learn how to run ads, take 6 months to a year, preferably working on your own stuff. But once you learn how to run ads, you could get a job making $55,000 a year learning how to run Google ads with 6 months of experience. That's how desperate they are. Let me show you. Google. Wait a minute. Google Ads specialist salary. $63,000. Google AdWords policy specialist salaries, $110,000. How do I become a Google AdWords specialist? You don't need a degree for this. Essentially, what you do is to become Google Ads where I surf at, you have to pass 2 Google assessments. The assessments are offered online through the Google Academy for Ads. Certification involves passing AdWords fundamental assessment and one of these supplemental advertising assessments. There is no cost to take the assessments. So if you devoted yourself to serious self-study for a year, learning everything you can about Google AdWords, and more importantly, running Google AdWord campaigns, you can walk into someone's company and start making $63,000 a year after 1 year of experience, of self-taught experience. Go to the Google company, go to the Google Academy for Ads, take that test, and you move toward, let's see, you're making more than 82% of the people live in America. That's what happens when you become self-educated. What you have to do is focus on rapid self-education. I mean, I'm going to keep showing her because I knew she was young. I just didn't know how young. This chick is 20 years old. She has an office and an assistant. And she lives in California by herself. That's her apartment. She making money, y'all. She's 20 years old. She taught herself how to do this in the last 2 years. In the last 2 years. That's how long it took her to develop these highly marketable skills. And you can do it too. You just got to pick something and stay with it. You got to jump on something and stay with it. You know, like the DSLR Chronicles. He went ahead. He took some of my courses. He skilled leveled up very quickly, and he making money now. You know, this is some very funny stuff. I started running some Facebook ads, and I guess, you know, it was to be expected. I got trolls. There's a lot of fake ads this morning. You know, I was advertising my 30 days to 2,500 program. And one of the things that needs to happen before you can become successful is you got to understand that you must approach the endeavor with the right mindset. If you don't approach the endeavor with the right mindset, you will fail. So these guys are already losers. They're already yardbirds. They're like, oh God, this is a fake ad. You know, I went through that course with people, and someone asked me like what Cleaver was doing. You know, Cleaver started a service business. Cleaver knew how to do computer stuff. And he went out there and used his computer knowledge, transferred his computer knowledge to cash. This is what he needed to do. You know, he had no car. He had no money. The question he asked during the live session was, hey, what about a person with no money, no car, staying with friends? And that's like a service business. Once again, if you are in a position where you do not have any money, you don't have any special skills, the quickest way for you to even out the the wealth gap is to start a service business and then trade your time for money. You can paint. I paid a guy $650 to paint 3 rooms. Bought the paint. I had to buy the paint. $650 for 3 rooms. You can paint, you can cut grass. I don't care how crowded these industries are. The fact that there's a bunch of people making money in these industries means there's room for you. What you got to do is get out of your own way and get started. And this is one of the hardest problems for people who are experiencing the income inequity, the dirge of low income. You guys have got to get out of your way. It's like, I'm going to start this business. I'm going to, go ahead and grab, 30 days to 2,500. Go ahead and take it upon yourself to skill up yourself. Like, I'm going to keep talking about this girl. I mean, I just knew that she was really young. I was shocked at how young she is. The girl was 14 in 2014. It's 2019. She's 20. She's either 19 or 20 years old. And I might try to flesh her out and interview her and find out what she did, because her story is impressive. That, and also looking at this, looking at her sister's name, Jaylene, Janika. I feel that her mom was a special woman because she raised this chick. Her mom and dad. Let's see. How Julian went from a 9-to-5 job. She wasn't in the employment force, too long. Look at this. She's done a great job of putting herself out here. Oh, she's got a YouTube channel. I did not know that. Girl is all over the place. She's just getting it started. Why ADHD is my superpower. So she's just getting started. This is the thing. You've got to self-educate. You got to get, here's another one. Let's just look at it. All right. If you self-educate really hard, you pick something that's hot. You get into Facebook ads, you get into Instagram, you get into Amazon FBA. Pick something that's super hot and you self-educate yourself. Let me tell you what your income level could be a year from now. That can be your income level right there. Within a year. How do I know? I see all of these kids doing this. I see all of these kids like let me go ahead and get her. LA. Like her. The Mills Guide to Business and Self-Help. New videos every Sunday and Wednesday. She just started this business. Let's look at her videos. Let's go with the oldest video. She started this 10 months ago, is when she started her business. She's making six figures. She has employees all within a year. Let me show you someone else. ODI. This is one of the guys who became very skilled on Shopify. He was one of the earliest ones, right? You know, he does affiliate marketing. See, this is where I have gone wrong. I've been a very old school, a very practical person, and this new economy is moving so quickly. Like this guy right here, Engineered Truth. He's making six figures just from his YouTube channel. You got all of these guys. All these guys are young. Mike Visto, he got on the Shopify tip. All of these guys are young and they're making big money because they skilled up their skill sets to marketable skill sets. That's what you got to do. If you're struggling to make money, you have a skill set problem. That's your issue. Let's see what we got going on in here. What's up, Martin? Yeah, I'm feeling much better. Moham, everyone has a skill set. People need their lawns, landscapes, basements need to be organized. People need assistance with their data. Exactly. Deep thought skills gap is on. All right, Cartel. I'm working for a local family owned landscape business, and I'm just learning how to start my own business. That is the best position to be in to start your own business. Work for someone else and learn that business while you're getting paid. So that's very smart. That's what I did. Let's see. Making some of your videos square for FB instant captions may 10x your ads efforts. I use rev.com to capture my videos. Oh, I already can do that stuff. Like I already can do that through my video editing software. I can do a square. Moham, y'all need to apply the same logic energy you had when you got all these first jobs as teens making money. Deep thought, you take the victimhood out of the education equation when you make it a skills gap over a wealth gap. I mean, that's what it really is. It is a skills gap. When I was living in that boarding house, the economy was roaring. I just didn't have the skills to participate in the roaring economy. And if you are struggling, if you're broke, you don't have any money, you have a skills issue. Like I'm going to go ahead and show you this. I'm going to keep showing her because I may actually try to interview her. She's 19, 20 years old, making $50,000 a month. So let's take that apart. She is not old enough to have years of experience. The most experience she has is about 2.5, which means she started this when she was 16, 17 years old. She saw what the future has. I mean, you know, Jen Casey, Joel, she knows. You know, she's running in that circle. She's been to these organizations. She's been to a lot of these conventions and she's met the people and she's in the inner circle. Because, see, once you get into this industry, and it's about getting skills, because you got everybody coming into the industry wanting to be a coach, wanting to make money online, and they don't know how. If you can learn how to be an effective coach, create online courses, you will get out of the average income trap very quickly. Very, very quickly. You will not be making average money no more. The ability to set things up, the ability to own your own economy becomes very real because, I'm not a member, I'm not a hater or a fan of Bernie Sanders, but I do know that taking personal responsibility for your money, for your wealth development is one of the best things you could do in life. I was watching this episode of Bigger Pockets where this chick who was a waitress who was making $20,000 a year in Detroit, she took her tax refund because she had two little kids. She made low income, and she bought a $6,300 house. So this waitress with low income who happened to be in Detroit, she bought her first house free and clear and saved the money that she would have been paying toward rent to get another one. So she has like 10 houses, 20K a year. Once again, people are like, well, that's Detroit. You can move to Detroit. You can move to Houston. You can move to New Orleans. Once again, it ain't, and there's no wealth gap. It's an education and it's a skills gap. It's information asymmetry. People don't know what's out there. The other day I was talking about clients on demand. They had a podcast with this guy who was teaching people how to do handstands. He did 2 million teaching people how to do handstands. Why? How? Because he was able to pinpoint people who wanted to do handstands, run Facebook ads to find these people, and make $2 million. These are the best of times ever for making money. They're the best times ever. Engineering cannabis, if you can solve a problem, get paid. More complicated the problem is, more money you can make. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is the world that we live in, where someone who is 19 with 2 to 3 years of self-education. Maybe she spent some money on some mentors. Maybe she bought a few courses, but she ain't old enough. Once again, I'm going to show it to you again because this should light a fire under you. She's 20 years old. She's 19, 20 years old, making 50K a year. Because when I saw her, I was like, she looks way young. And I knew, I just know how young chicks can be. This is never why I got caught up in any BS, with the Craigslist protocols, because I had very young chicks who responded to the ads, and I'm like, you look illegal. Well, no. Yes, you are. I mean, any guy who gets caught with a girl who's underage, he knew she was. I mean, he knew. When their breasts are so firm, they stand straight up. That's typically a sign that you're dealing with someone very young. Typically. And this girl is super young and she's super paid. After 2 to 3 years of intense self-study. And this is the thing. This is the exciting part. You can make money while you're studying. It's not like you got to take 2 or 3 years and go into a cave and don't exist with, after 6 months, you can take what you learn and start turning that into money. But you got to be about this self-improvement, self-education tip. You got to be about spending some money. Because one of the things I've learned is all of these folks who are making money. I was watching an episode of Billie Jean's YouTube channel, and he had one of these guys who was doing the Shopify store, and the guy said, as soon as I started making money, I spent $2,000 on a mentor, and I upped my money for my ad budget. They've all been open to spending money for self-education, self-improvement, and getting that knowledge. If you one of those old dinosaurs, like, I ain't gonna spend no money, I can figure it out myself, these kids are going to run circles around you. They're going to run circles around you. You're going to be left out in the cold. Deep Dog, I'm jealous of the handstand guy. Mark Scott, people don't know what they don't know. I mean, there's so much out here. All points, you're wrong, coach. With all due respect, you don't know what you're talking about. There's definitely a wealth gap due to redlining. I'm pro black. Actually, I'm not wrong, and I'm about to prove it to you. In 2019, it is a skills and education gap. There is no wealth gap, because I've looked at those numbers. The average white person is not rich. See, those millionaires and those billionaires have skewed their numbers, because I've listened to Tone Talks and all this other stuff. And no, all points. If you accept that, then you don't accept personal responsibility for what you can do now. Because right now, 2019, you can start a business and change that. I don't have a wealth gap between me and white folks. Actually, I have more money than most white folks. There ain't no wealth gap in the Cameron household, because I have skilled myself up. Once again, this whole thing of someone's going to come down and bless you with a lot of money, it's just a pipe dream. It ain't going to happen. There ain't no wealth gap. It's a skills gap. And, I'm about to talk a little rough and rugged to you. Black folks spend too much time on culture and not enough time on skill development and education. Doing it for the culture. So there ain't no wealth gap. The only wealth gap is in your mind, because right now you could go out and pick one of these hot industries, skill yourself up, self-educate, buy some courses, and change that within 6 months to 18 months. I need to write a book on how to keep BBWs happy. Deep Thought, the victimhood mentality is a major roadblock. Exactly, because if you don't think that you can, you're right, you can't do it. What's up, Mr. G? Thanks for the $10. King Nick, internet is available to almost everyone. I actually consider YouTube the best invention of the 21st century, because I learned so many ways to make money since 2006 when I was 17. Exactly. Flowmaster, I think the urge to first actually call it out being a skill gap. It's a skills gap. Always winning. Wealth is generational skills pertaining to income. There's a wealth gap. There ain't no wealth gap. Income is how this all starts. There ain't no wealth gap. I will say there's a wealth gap between the top 1% and everyone else. But the average white person doesn't have any wealth. Why do you think Trump is in office? Hello? The average white person is poor. Cleveland Smith, old sports added skills pay the bills. Staying the man. I would actually say everybody on the course hustle. So I just be careful who you buy from. But Glennon is right. It's a skills gap. So that's where I learned how to code and make 60K at my job. Staying the man. He's in programming. Sandy Hawk said it again. We ought to be personally responsible, enhance and learn new skill sets, especially how to set up and keep a business running for generations. Mark Scott, America's corporation, and the value of the dollar trumps moral issues. We must all act corporate to thrive in America. Exactly. Engineer cannabis skills. That's why all Nigerians and Chinese are killing folks in skills. The knowledge consumer. I think about all the shoes and video games that people buy instead of books and online courses. I'm telling you, I have followed a lot of these young kids, and like I would get on Google and research and look them up when they went to high school, and you got these young kids making 150, 200, $300,000 per month, going out buying $200, $300,000 cars, buying their first house, having tax issues, buying shoes is a skill now. Saying, man, you need the skills to get that high income. I tell all my black friends to learn digital marketing, but they want to do music and be a rapper. You can only make them do something if it's cool. Black culture. This is a symbol of black culture. If it's cool, if it's got swag, if it's fresh, that's where people want to be. They don't want to be in front of a computer learning how to do some boring code. Coding ain't cool, said the stupid. Coding is what got Bill Gates to where he is. Coding is every time one of these guys starts a company like Uber or Airbnb, one of the founding partners is always a coder or a programmer. They get one guy who be the sales guy. They get one guy who be the ideal guy. And they always need someone to do the coding. Look at it, how all these companies got started. You need someone to do the coding. And you got black folks who just still looking for cool. On my other channel, I was going to do a video talking about the new black woman. The new black woman, she ain't hood. She ain't ghetto. She dates with whoever likes her. And one of the things is we got to get to a new class of black folks who are not wedded to old hood, ghetto, hip hop culture. You know, I see these videos of black people, you know, because I think a little heritage is cool. But when that heritage is thrust to the forefront, because, you know, I see African villages where people are dancing and they're doing these tribal dances. How in the hell is that going to improve this wealth situation so you can dance well? Wow. Okay. How about you learn how to code? How about you learn how to do digital marketing? How about you learn how to make some money? How about you learn how to run a business? We got to let all that stuff go and move to the new future. Oh, the body show off. I moved away from rap into coding and landscaping, waiting for reparations and impediment, go out and earn some skills. Exactly. When most of the top 1% got the wealth due to their position in life, who their family is. Their family had someone who went out and enhanced their skills and made some money. There's only like 2,500 billionaires in the world and about 20 million millionaires. And I guarantee you, other than the people who inherited their money, there was someone out here skilled up negotiating. I dated a trust fund baby, and her father did this deal in Mexico with this oil well that set up their trust fund. There was always someone out there. You know, they wasn't sitting at home and someone just like, bam, blessed them with the money. Unless they got, you know, granddad died and left them a lot of money. Stop with the excuses. Well, you know, they got to the 1% because someone did something favorable to them, and that's what I'm waiting on. If you waiting on someone to bring you lottery type winnings, good luck with that. Say the Hawks get some skill sets, STEM skills, absolute necessity. Martin Mazulet. People would be surprised how much their lives would change if they invest between $200 and $2,000 in information and invest in themselves for more skill. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. What's up, Ray Williamson? The day you said that not that many people make over 70K was crazy. We got a lot of people who don't make 70K. And we got all of these kids. I'm showing them to you. You know, who got skilled up in the appropriate areas. We got this one. We've got Alex Becker. He's another one. Like, all I'm watching is how to run ads because I got to skill up. That's one of the things that I have to do. You know, you got all of these kids, and this is what I'm looking at. They're not old enough to have years and years of experience. We're talking 1 to 2 years of specialized self-education in a certain doctrine. Like here's another one. He did it through the YouTube. He's in a totally different place than he was a few years ago. Because one of the things that I have learned from these kids is they talk about how to get rich before they get rich. And they bring along their group of people who are watching their channels. And you see that there's a certain pattern of viewership that these guys have. You know, go over here to the right. You see all these guys. Here's another one. He talks about investing. He's made money off of YouTube. He gets a lot of YouTube money. Does investing because, you know, a lot of people want to do stocks. You know, if you're talking about how to invest in stocks and you have some success, you can get paid. Look at this financial education. These guys, he's learned this is a way to get a bunch of people to follow him on Instagram. They do. Brandon Beavis. And I'm going to tell you something for these guys of you who know how to do investing. These investing YouTube channels make a lot of money on AdSense because of the ads that run. So you've got all of these things. And all of them are kids. They're all under 30. Making crazy money. And this is something that I've been studying them. I've been studying these kids. I've been looking at their origin stories. I've been looking at how they got started. Because the thing is, once again, I'm gonna keep saying they're not old enough to have years of experience. The only reason that I'm making more money than most of these people is I have years of sales experience. I got almost 2 decades of sales experience. And I know how to set up a company and I know the parameters. And I'm sitting there like, you know what? I'm hustling backwards. I'm not doing this correctly. I should be doing what they're doing. Only 5% of white people inherited wealth. They're wealthy because of making cell phones, laptops, coding. Bloodsport 1. Engineering, cannabis. The time, patience, and the proper skill set can make you wealthy. Absolutely. Maybe someone is watching will do that. Robbie Rob, I don't understand why people complain about having daddy's money. As a man, you want to set your children up nicely and pass down skills, especially by the time they're young adults. Absolutely. Carlton, thank you for sharing the truth about wealth creation, Glendon. I love hearing you break it down in a sincere and informed manner. Sadie Hawks, follow the makers, not the booty shakers. Yeah, because the thing is, wealth is generated. BHM3, I had to get out of my comfort zone and be courageous to generate a 5-figure commission by operating in an uncomfortable niche. I wasn't successful at first, but I persevered and I learned as I went. That's what these kids are doing. Stan the man, yes, asking for the money. It's under the video. Asking for the money is the sales course. The knowledge consumer, nowadays, you only need to make $325 a year to be in the top 1%. Not much of a gap. Nope. Martin, I'm taking a course that starts as a technical writer. They start at $70K. Flowmaster Online Companies is the new future. Television that's run its course and soon be out of business. Because once again, I'm a social scientist and I have been studying these kids. And, I'm friends with some of them and I actually see how they live. When you see someone who is 19 to 20 years old, living by herself in California in a nice newer apartment, she making money. A lot of folks in California have roommates. Like there's a few YouTube channels with these people, they do these skits. And one of the apartments is it's in the hood, you could tell. And that's all they can afford. And they're doing these skits. Wealth is created by, wealth is what you create. Many people got this generational wealth thing jacked up. Like wealth is what is created. When you create a book, when you create something new, a lot of people want the rent-seeking way of getting money. They don't improve nothing. They just get money for breathing. And there are some people who get money for breathing. There are some people who was born in the right family and granddad left them millions. Happens. It's rare. It's rarer than the lottery. You got a chance of winning the lottery quicker than you have becoming part of one of those families. Television. Once again, you got to get your skills up. There is no wealth gap. Many people talk about, I did a post on my money income. Let me show y'all because it's gotten wild. I'm going to tell you what my intention was, and I'm going to tell you what happened. I posted this on my Facebook page, Money, Income, and Profit, and I put a little money on it. Let's see. So we're going to have to get the post. Let me show you this post. This needs to change. Most of American business is run by white men. And the channel, and I'm thinking that more black folks need to start businesses. Man, it's a firestorm in the comment. Can we stop making this about race? Anyone can run one. If white people were not racist, we would not be having these problems. And I mean, they just going off. One thing that a lot of white men have is this entitlement syndrome that they supposed to be in charge. It is a mindset that many of them have. And many of them have lied and said everything that's been a relevant invention in history has been invented by white men, which is a lie. Were the math and all the technical advances that were created in Egypt, those were brown people. Fire was created by the Chinese, not white people. But once again, a lie told 50 times is soon to believe to be the truth. And they just going off in here. And I'm like, you know what? I'm giving it back to them, because if you did not look at that and they're like, well, that needs to change. Well, we actually need more white people owning businesses. I mean, they losing it in the comments. They're losing it because I had the audacity to say that, because I don't operate as an imprisoned black man. I say what I want. I tell the truth. Shame the devil. What's up, Keeter? It's totally crazy how much opportunities we create for ourselves with the internet. People could just jump on the niche marketing with Instagram and Facebook, crush it without showing your face. Absolutely. Mark Scott, touch on the evolution of basic human nature's transfer in online platforms. It's already happening. Like, Uber's optimizing the Uber driver. They're getting so much money out of these people. It's ridiculous. Relo, over 60% of wealth transfer from one generation to the next is lost. Inheriting money doesn't mean you will keep it if you're financially illiterate. Amen. Amen. Wow, people are truly delusional. When people tell me sometimes someone is racist, I say that sounds like their problem. They can't stop me from succeeding. So how is it relevant? Absolutely. Rael, Glenn, you ain't lying. I've seen white men lose millions of dollar business because of their entitlement complex. Many of them don't like to recognize talent. They want all the credit. I mean, it is crazy how white men are killing themselves. White male suicide is an all-time high. White male drug addiction is an all-time high. And one of the reasons that this is happening is the world has become more fair and everything ain't theirs anymore. This is why Trump is president. Make America great is make America how it used to be, as racist as it was. This is why Trump doesn't deny David Duke endorsing him. He dances around this. I mean, there's so many ways that races played a role in this. And the things that you can do today with the internet are insane. Like Keeter just said, you could find a niche with Instagram and Facebook and crush it without ever showing your face. Just run ads, never show your face, never ever put out who you are. Yeah, the color shit is goofy as hell. But just because they see shit retarded don't mean you have to. What's up, Eclectic Man? You got to get internet skills. You got to get what's viable skills. This is what jacked me up in the 80s, well, the late 90s. I did not have marketable skills. There's a difference between, having skills. People go to college, they have a skill set, but is someone going to pay them money for that skill set? That's what you got to look at. Like, you went to college, you got 3.8, you did well in school. That's a skill set. But how much is it worth to the public, to people at large? Internet skill sets, like you learn how to do paid traffic, you can make a minimum of 150 to 250 a year working for other people. Easy. You got to actually reach out to people. Relo, yeah, you can't get by with being a white man anymore. You got to compete. Many of the laws post-Civil War passed by the Democrats were limited to black community's ability to compete. The world has become more fair. They got to compete against their woman, which is the white women was the biggest single beneficiary of the civil rights movement. They got to benefit against the black man. They got to benefit against the Asian man. They got to benefit against the Mexican man. They got to benefit against. They got to compete against the Indian man. They got to compete with all these folks. They didn't have to worry about the post 1960. You were just competing against Ed. There was enough cake for everybody. But now you got to compete for real. And that's a problem. It was eye-opening when you said the other day, even when you're trying to create an online business or any business for that matter, you can make more money than 80% of the US population. Absolutely. I mean, if your business sucks, you can still make, 5 times what the average person makes. Tim A, Google, YouTube. Frozen Creative. That's not true. You got to be able to do something that everyone can do. You got to be able to do something that's in demand. Erica P. White women are the biggest officials of affirmative action. Absolutely. And that threw a wrinkle into their thing. Power is taken and never given. That's true. Because once again, just like I had to learn, when I was in that boarding house, the economy was doing well. I had a skill set crisis. I didn't have any marketable skill sets that anyone wanted to throw any money at me. And once I changed that, went to Rent a Crate, learned how to do sales, took that knowledge to Panel Systems and Unlimited, learned how to sell stuff over the phone, went to business environments, learned how to sell face to face, then went off and did my own thing. But I skilled myself up with marketable skills. Just because you have this dream of being a dancer and you go to school and be a dancer, unless you're in the top 10% of dancers, you ain't gonna make any money. So you have this dream and you work hard. Okay, that's granted, that's valid. But at the end of the line, who is going to pay you for those skills? Nobody. And this is one of the things that many people just don't understand. Just because you work hard on something doesn't mean you're going to get paid if it's not in alignment what people are paying for. It's just not going to happen. Really, I'll tell blacks all the time that the reason why you don't win is because you won't get in the game. Many white men win by just being in the game, not because they're competent. Say that again. Say that again. Let me read that again. I tell blacks all the time the reason why you don't win is because you won't get in the game. Many when white men just win by being in, they just show up. I'm gonna tell you a story. Every year in the storage auction, a lot of people did not go to auctions in December because if they were selling in the flea markets after Christmas, a lot of stuff dried up. I went out, showed up, only had 25 bucks and walked away with 30 units because I showed up because no one else showed up. Everyone's thinking like, I don't have any money, can't sell this stuff. I was making deals like, hey, give me a month to move this. I was networking and dealing my ass off because I showed up. And many people, as Red L say, don't even get in the game. Don't even participate. Don't even sign up. Don't even get a t-shirt or a jersey. Don't get in the game. You can't win if you don't play. Mr. Bell, 90% of all wealth is white. Inherited blacks have been systematically locked out of real wealth. This whole thing, what's real wealth? Black folks have got to get away from this. Well, if Bill Gates woke up with Oprah's money, he'd kill himself. That's some black folks stuff. If Bill Gates woke up with Oprah money, he would still be living the same life he's living. Once you get past billions, you can't spend all that money. And this whole thing about real wealth, white folks don't have, average white person is broke. Once again, why do you think Trump was elected? Because these people are feeling the pressure of the social economic changes of America. It ain't like it used to be. It ain't nothing like it used to be. Goonies girls, what are some skills that are recession proof? Sales and marketing. Nathan, I work with white men often. They're some of the most laziest people on earth. Mr. Bell, you're on the wrong channel because we are winners and heroes here. We don't subscribe to that victimhood, defeatist mindset. If I had subscribed to that, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Basic econ, supply and demand. What's up, Mazzy boy? Many of these white fails are afraid to compete. I had one try to run game on me and my fiance, but hid behind his wife. When I saw he knew business, dude wouldn't even talk to me on the phone. He knew he couldn't pull a okey doke on you. Bloodsport, save your time. He's got that defeatist attitude. Rallo, he used his wife to manipulate my fiance to go against me so he wouldn't have to pay me any damn money. Dude lost his contact and had the ultimately left wife and became homeless. BHM, there's a sea of money out there that's just sitting and waiting for the person that is aware, willing to get in. Wealth is in the mind. We give the palm-colored people too much credit. Mark, you got to get over that stuff. Really, dude used to run $1 million businesses. Robbie, exactly. I've been in construction for 5 years. No matter I work for, mostly contractors are pretty incompetent to say the least. They always complain of Mexican cheap labor. Big brother in life. Trump is an end to preventing civil war of an average white guy to buck the system. There ain't gonna be no civil war. People have had the warrior spirit bred out of them. There ain't gonna be no war. We need to teach children how manage what you got, make more money. Erica Williams, people use the word generational wealth in the government as the excuse for every problem when Becky's family just used credit cards and in debt. Morning Blue Man, GC, these winning black folks are driving me mad. I'm black and I made 14 from running ads for real estate agents. Make 14K. Good for you, man. The black community has $1 trillion spending power. How poor are we really? Well, the money's just not properly used due to hood culture. All right. 80% of wealth is inherited wealth created by free African labor. There's no such thing as a black. I would disagree with you. There is a black middle class. It ain't that large, but there is one. I'm in it. I'm in the upper black middle class, and there's like one family over there, another family. There's quite a few families over here. See, I live and see this stuff on a daily basis. You assume it doesn't exist because you hanging around broke ass people all day long. Green is the most loyal color. Stand the man, that's our mindset. Many of us have been in poverty so long, we have a poverty mindset. You have to start thinking different. So many excuses when the internet has made it even Steven. Rella, here we go with the professional victims. 83% of millionaires are first generational. What the F are you talking about? Let's see, a lot of people know. Morning Points, Morning Blue, All Points TV. When I got started, I spent $1,200 my own money running ads on my own because I figured it out. My ads had to work. First client was about to be homeless if she didn't have a sale. Will Melvin, if you do the math, the trend in spending power means that we spend every dime we get. Really hate that stat. Wealth is really a mindset. Money is the byproduct. Some blacks are small-minded and subscribe to hood narratives. That's why they can't see the truth. Absolutely. Takes money to make money. We have money, Mr. Bell. It's just spent on the wrong stuff. And once again, I don't subscribe to tone talks. You can't get anywhere in life if you feel that you're defeated before you even begin playing the game. JVD, I'm at 2% due to a state settlement and have to make aware of what I went through would be a waste. I mean, essentially, it's 2019. And if you want to make some money, you can. There are no gatekeepers. There's nobody saying you can't do this. Look at me. Look at my story. I wrote a book about an esoteric business that changed my life. Most of my customers, the first 3 years here on YouTube, were white men. It wasn't black folks buying my storage auction products. Black folks just weren't not interested. If it ain't cool, I don't want to do it. Coding, internet marketing. If it ain't cool, I don't want to do it. That's the problem with black folks. If it ain't cool, if it ain't hip, if it don't have swag, they don't want to do it. That's how come those of us who have moved over to the digital age, moved over to study, moved over to nerdy things are making that money, and the average black person ain't, because if it ain't cool, I don't want to do it. I mean, this is one of the biggest issues with the black community, the cool factor. Oh, Martin, people are racist, not money and credit. Money don't care who make it. Money don't care. Bro, I got IT skilled and recruiters took the money to the mat. People lie to get jobs they can't do. I did that. I live in Silicon Valley and I see the Indians and Asian and Eastern Europeans taking over, upper middle class and up. They're dominating tech world out there. Average whites are struggling out here. Flowmaster 8. Thank you. Everybody's afraid of the big bad white man, and the big bad white man don't even have teeth no more. Everything has changed. Everything. Relel, business owners and worker bees have a totally different mindset. Business people see opportunities while worker bees sees problems. Yep, Scorpion Life, my courses are video. Tech is where that is in the next. Mr. Bell, Byron Allen didn't get locked out. Byron Allen won. Byron Allen filed that lawsuit and won. Byron Allen had money and he was able to play the game and win. That's the thing you don't see. You're like, he got locked out. You don't see the fact that he won. He got in because he had money. He had intellect. He knew how to play the game. Be interesting. I acknowledge the importance of learning how to sell and market. How do we get this information to the children at school? You as a parent don't have to teach them at home. That's the only way that's going to happen. They're not going to learn in most schools. Certain private schools, they'll learn. See, once again, this channel is for heroes and people who have the hustler's mindset, for people who don't feel that they're defeated because they're black. Once again, everything has changed. There are no gatekeepers. There's no one that's saying you can't do what you can do. I was watching this show called The Cut on YouTube, and there was this 24-year-old girl who was a millionaire on the show because of some product she created. You can't stop this. I mean, right now, it's wide open. It is wide open with the internet. Rob, you might be locked out. I'm not. I'm literally going to have the license and insure construction company with 2 employees next year. Plus a book or two. I create my own path. I mean, once again, there are no gatekeepers to anything. Chance the Rapper, millions of dollars without a record label. I know Byron Allen's underestimated. That dude got in. He won. Sassy Mox, the Byron Allen used to let his house go into foreclosure multiple times so he could create leverage to invest in his business. I know that. Save, invest, repeat. I used to think blacks were broke and couldn't come up with $1,000 if needed. I have ordered 500 class 3 times and sold out each time. This last time sold out in less than an hour, all blacks. Byron Allen just bought 5 more TV channels yesterday on the news. Like I said, Byron Allen winning. He ain't locked out. He winning. Once again, once again, well, let's talk about the power of your subconscious mind, Mr. Bell. See, what you put into your mental will dictate the output. This is why I don't listen to tone talks, don't take any of that crap inside of my mental, because once that stuff gets to your subconscious mind will make it a reality. That's why I don't listen to that. And that's why I'm not listening to you. And that's why we can't have a conversation, because everything you put up, I'm going to call BS on it because I know better. You know, my biggest deal in life was a $3.5 million deal to white people. That's my biggest deal in life. So for every time someone said, well, you know, white people ain't going to buy from black people, I have thousands of examples where that isn't true. Well, the white man ain't going to let you start a business. Invalid. I don't listen to that hotep, broke Negro, we is black, we've messed up talk. That is not my reality. That's not my daily life. When I leave my house to go get lunch, I pass mansions every day. That's my life. That's what I see. I see wealth. I enjoy wealth. That is the architecture of my life, not this poverty. You know, we don't have no generational wealth. I see beautiful black families living in this neighborhood doing well. Save, invest. Blacks have money. It's just a matter how we use it. Sassy Moxie. The truth is, older black people and defeated black parents are teaching their kids this garbage. If a man think he is inferior, he will find a back door. Pretty much what I'm saying. You just can't take that stuff into your mental. Rael, this channel is for capitalists, not socialists. Morning Blue. Some people are more proud about knowing about money instead of having money. Amen. Elite Alpha Fitness. I came out of prison, was homeless. In under 3 years, I made over 100K last year. And just last week, I was able to purchase my second home for just under 400K. Making money is a game. Go ahead, Elite Alpha Fitness. Pretty much. There are hundreds of up and coming Byron Allen, Robert Smiths, coming folks, and people are choosing to make excuses why they're losing. We got, let's see, way too detrimental, dude. Go right to a book on your excuses and whinings. I don't know about that. Many of the hoteps that I have talked to are defeatists. You know, Steffi Stoff, you know, if you're going to live in California, once again, I also talk about living the life of design of intent. The life you want, you know, if you sit down like, this is kind of life I want, this is what these kids are doing. They're like, well, I want to live in Bali. How can I create a business that gets me to Bali? You got to sit down and think about it. You know, if you want to live in California, that's the cost of living in California. This is why folks have to unplug from the ratchet and gossip 27. They can't figure out why life's going wrong. King Dinner. I see black folks in exotic cars every day in Atlanta, man. Charlie Joyce winning. Goonies girl. That's why I had to stop listening to Tone Talks and Yvette Carnell. Once that stuff gets into your mental, it's like cancer. Your subconscious mind won't trump systematic reality. Put your ego aside. Mr. Bell, I don't know why you want to argue with me because everything you said. See, this is the power of your subconscious mind. I sat down, took out a sheet of paper, and I wrote down what I wanted to happen, and it happened. This was from the power of your subconscious mind. You cannot convince me because I've had years of evidence of it working. You, on the other hand, are assuming this garbage and you're trying to argue with someone who has results and evidence contrary to the bullshit you're saying. See, that's why I don't like messing with hoteps because a lot of y'all just stupid. Eric Williams, 9% of my clients are white, 9% of investors in the past 6 months have been black. So black folks got money. You're using the white man's buzzwords. I like how most people here don't subscribe to the broke mindset talk. Definitely the progressive movers and shakers. This channel's for heroes, man. This channel's for capitalists. This channel's for people who want to make money. Rob, that sounds crazy. You literally believe you can't be successful in 2009 because of your skin color? Once again, it is a skill set problem. Once again, can you do it without a car? Can you hustle? That's on you. Because the thing is, it's a skill set problem. When you use generational wealth, it's like many black folks are like the MGTOW people talking about Chad. Well, Chad don't have to do anything to get the draws. I want to be, Chad. I mean, seriously, there's a lot of bad things that went down in history, but the future is undecided. It's up to you to make a decision on how you want your future to be. That's on you. And if you subscribe to this Hotep stuff, and from day one on this channel, I've been battling with them because I don't believe in Hotep. I mean, I've had so many experiences. I've made so much money. That's why he got timed out, Humphrey Jones. Rella, Booker T built Tuskegee with white folks' money as a formerly enslaved man during one of the most racist times in history. You have no excuse, bro. I mean, essentially, it is a skill set. I've shown you the numbers. I've shown you all of these kids who are not old enough to have years of experience making this bread, making this Wi-Fi bread. Antonio Williams, I need an EpiPen around broke people. They're bad for your health, even people who live credit check to check. Right now is the greatest time in the history for someone to change their personal financial situation. So for those of you who want to learn how to sell, who want to get into 30 days to 2,500, the links are below the video. You can go ahead and sign up, get started. You got to self-educate. You got to let this notion go that you're going to find all this wonderful information online for free. You're not. If you could, most people wouldn't be a step beyond broke. Thank you, BHML. All right, I'm going to breakfast. I got a busy day. I got this new Instagram account I got to play around with. I got to set up some stuff. So check it out and understand there is no wealth gap. It's really a skills gap. And it's going to be incumbent on someone in your family to stand up and be the man or the woman on the white horse to make some money for the rest of the family. Somebody got to be that dude or that chick. Is it going to be you? Understand, there is no wealth gap. It is a skills gap. You got to have viable skills so you can pay the bills. So with that, I'll see you guys later.